Oh, alrighty. So today we're doing another patron-voted Drawn Out, and this time what they voted on was for me to redesign Team Coffee from Ruby. And I'm actually really excited that they voted for this one because I wanted to redesign Team Coffee anyway. And especially I wanted to do it before Volume 9, which I honestly expected for us to hear a little bit from when it might be happening by now, but still no word, but that's okay, it gave me plenty of time to redesign Team Coffee. And the reason why I wanted to redesign Team Coffee before Volume 9 is because I actually anticipate them showing up. I fully expect Team Coffee to show up in Volume 9 for the kids' Vacuo arc. We'll have fun adventures with Team Coffee. So yeah, and I expect them to have new outfits. Just like how Team Funky had. And so I wanted to make my own version first, and so then I can compare with how they actually end up looking in the canon show. So yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I kind of hope they vote for that one, and they did, so hooray. So yeah, first of all, you gotta put down the rough sketches, and here's a little bit of advice. So if the primary goal of your artwork is to show off a design, like, that is the main thing you're doing. You want to show off an outfit design, a character design. Just, the point is to look at a design. Then it's really best to put them in, to put the characters in kind of basic poses. Like, I know these are pretty undynamic, and it's a bit of a battle for the rest of time with trying to figure out, how do I make them stand and look interesting without just doing the same 4 poses over and over. But that's because, if you have the character doing, a back handspring triple flip, that makes it really hard to see the design, and if that's your primary goal, then that doesn't work. By all means, if you are more interested in drawing a cool picture where they're doing a triple backspring double flip or whatever I just said, then do that. Go ahead and go forward with that, but just be aware of what your goal is. If you want people to be like, look at this cute character I made, then you have to make sure people can see the character. If you look at this cool outfit I made, you have to be able to make sure people can see the outfit. So just, fun fact there. I guess let's actually start talking about Team Coffee here. So, I'm actually going to jump to Velvet, because that's who we're looking at right now. Because I had one primary goal in mind. High ponytail. My sister is obsessed with the idea of Velvet cutting her hair, and I am like, no. Just let the girl have long hair, personally. That's just me. Nothing wrong with that. Though, fun fact, no one ever says girl with short hair should grow it out. And this is across all media. This isn't just Ruby. No one's ever the girl with short hair should grow her hair out. And no one's ever the boy with long hair should cut it. Because no one's being Sephiroth should cut that hair, otherwise someone could grab it. It's always just girls. And I'm like, how about we just let girls with long hair have their long hair, maybe? But I was thinking, Velvet's hair is a little dull, as it is, just being straightened down. How can we make it look a little cuter? How can we zhuzh it up a bit? And I was like, Ariana Grande power. Let's put it up in this high ponytail, and I've also styled her bangs, and I think this is so much more cute. Her outfit was also an interesting challenge as well, because so for everyone else, I pulled from real fashion, and especially for Coco, I wanted to make sure to do that, because she's a fashionista, and designing clothes, off the fly, can be hard. I am not a fashion designer, I'm a character designer. Someone has already done the hard job of making clothes. So I can just use that as a reference. Monty did that all the time, too. There's nothing wrong with just using real-life clothes for a character, especially in a show like Ruby, where that's established as normal. And so for Coco specifically, I looked up Chanel, Chanel fashion, because Coco is loosely based off of Chanel. Her last name is Adele, Coco Adele, that's it. And so I looked up Chanel fashion for Coco, and I found a really cute shirt and I looked up BTS for Fox, because I liked the idea of Fox keeping a sleeveless outfit, because I didn't want to cover up his scars. Also, because sleeves could theoretically get in the way of his, like, weapons. So, yes, I was like, if anyone's gonna look fashionable, it's BTS, like the band. And basically, I just worked with that for them, like with Chanel and K-pop stars. And for Yatsuhashi, it's a little basic, but I mean, it's classic for a reason. Normal samurai outfit, but with one sleeve down. You know, big Orin from Final Fantasy X vibes, big Mitsurugi from Soul Calibur vibes. This is by no means a new idea, but it is a fun idea, and I think it's great. Something important I did with Yatsuhashi is I shifted over where his shoulder guard is, and I also lowered the other side, because his first look was like asymmetrical, kind of like that. It's definitely less so. But, I wanted to push that more, and I wanted it to be his dominant hand, cause, like, that's the point, is to make, like, his right hand holding the sword is the one that's, like, flapping around and, like, doing stuff. That's why you wouldn't be having a sleeve. And also, since that's his dominant side, that's the side the shoulder blade should be on, cause you don't block with, like, you don't do a twirl to block with your other shoulder. The side with the sword is already facing the opponent, so just put the shoulder blade over there. So, yeah, that was Yatsuhashi plot plan. I also gave him a cute little kind of like longer hair, because I was like, let's go all the way around. Rather than cutting any of the girls' hair, let's make one of the boys' hair longer. And I'm honestly, I'm really happy with how they all turned out. I've also, so something interesting you'll notice here with my line art is that I decide to not do clean line art, and instead I just color in my sketch layer black, and I wanted to go with that as my line art. It's not something I do often, but I really liked how loose and rough they looked here. I cleaned it up a little bit in some places, but yeah, I really liked the sketchy look, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, it did make this step a real pain, and you're gonna see me jump ahead because I stopped recording because I knew it would just be boring to look at, where I'm filling in flats on them so then I can, like, make sure I don't color outside the lines. And that was a nightmare, cause the enclose and fill tool won't work if there's a gap in the line art, and this sketchy look results in lots of gaps in the line art. But it's okay, I did it, I made it work. We're all okay. I made the background gray here because I know that, because Coco's super pale. That was basically it. And I wanted to make sure I could see Coco's skin against the background because she is so dang pale. That was the primary goal. Also, you're gonna notice that this green that I turned everybody, I'm gonna turn Yatsuhashi purple. It doesn't matter, no one will ever see this green, but I remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, Yatsuhashi wears green, and it's a pretty similar shade to this, and I wanted to be able to actually see it, so that's why you'll see him jump to purple in the not too distant future here. But yeah, Velvet specifically, you know, since I was working with real clothes for everyone else, I couldn't do that for Velvet, because I really wanted Velvet to look, like, accurate. And unfortunately, Velvet's character designer was a fan. They won the fan contest. It's Monkey. They actually did an excellent job. I hope Monkey is happy and having fun out there, whoever they are. But I wanted to make sure Velvet still felt right. You know, that she still felt accurate. So I didn't want to just look up real clothes for her, and opted to kind of edit her, like, her canon outfit. First and foremost, I wanted to make her legs more exposed. I think her canon look is very cute and very, very good. I like it a lot. But a big thing that I encountered was I did not read her tall boots as boots. I saw it as leggings under shorts, which is wrong. She's got, like, brown pants and then long black boots, and I wanted to alleviate that problem. And I also kind of wanted to put the brown more across her. I wanted there to be more brown on her legs, so that was the primary goal for Velvet. For Coco, honestly, it was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just, you know, the same shade of brown. I'm gonna make her sleeves sheer in a second here, which is why I've still colored in her arms. And I think that's a fun way to... And I'm not gonna change the color of brown on Coco at all. It's gonna be the same shade of brown as the rest of the shirt, just at a lower opacity. And I think that's an easy cheat for high fashion. You know, ruffles and sheer. These Chanel boots, so I based these on real boots that Chanel has designed, and they looked so stupid though. I'm like, these look kind of goofy. I'm gonna add laces to the back, because laces make everything look automatically fancier in my head. But specifically they had this like sparkle effect that I was like, I really want to get that, even though no one's gonna be able to see it. But I did it. So 10 out of 10 job, me. I'm amazing. And look at that, look at those sheer elements. Excellent. And now we can jump back to Velvet now. This skirty-doo thing I've got going on here is actually incredibly reminiscent of the early concept art of Yang. Yang's got a similar sort of skirt situation, and it ends up, you know, carrying over into her real design for Volume 1 as well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with pulling from other characters' elements at times. You know, Yang's not the only one who can have this leather skirty-doo situation attached to a belt. And I thought that was a cute way to still give Velvet a similar sort of silhouette that her tall boots had done, without resorting to shorts. Because I wanted her to have this, like, I don't know, in my head it's futuristic, but it's not. But like this like one-piece leotard situation instead. And so yeah. Very cute. I think I really like Velvet's silhouette with the short boots as well. Shorter, at least. This took an eternity to color in. Fox's fancy necklace thing here. This shirt is basically verbatim, from the BTS reference I've got there. And you know, for a second I was like, should I make the shirt brown? You know, kind of like how it was in his original outfit. But I think changing up where the black and brown are on him works a lot better, because otherwise it was very top heavy with all the brown just on his torso. I think kind of spreading it out a little bit more like this just helps balance him out a little bit, especially because his skin is such a similar shade as his hair. So yeah, that just helping him feel a little bit more balanced. I looked up Adidas for his shoes, fun fact, and also I looked up real pants as well for him. That's the tip. That's, you know, clothes, like I said, clothes are hard to design. Don't do that hard work when you can use references. There's nothing wrong with a reference. Yatsuhashi kind of threw me for a little bit during my, like, initial phases of design, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the green. I was like, does the green work? Do I like it with the rest of the team? I've always kind of felt like Yatsuhashi doesn't quite coexist with the rest of the team. But I liked the sort of turtle vibe he gives off. I remember back in the day I used to think he was the turtle from The Turtle and the Hare, kind of co-working with Velvet, who would be doubling up on the hare and the Velveteen Rabbit. Turns out that theory was wrong, but whatever. That's fine. I don't need to be right all the time. But yeah, so I liked the green. I ended up jiving with it, and so it stuck around. Fun fact, they all have black on them. That was the first thing I colored in on Yatsuhashi, because I knew I wanted to get that black on him. It kind of unifies the group. Like, they've all got their brown shades, you know, from like their skin tones to their hair and the clothes, but I also wanted that black to kind of help keep them all glued together as well, a unifying color across them. If you can pull a color from a friend in a situation like this when you're making a team, if you can pull a color from a friend, I suggest do that. For example, Yatsuhashi has like his legs are wrapped, and he's got the lighter wrapping around his waist as well. It's the same color as the light elements on Fox's design. So like his necklace, which is also the same shade as his eyes, I pull the same shade of gold is on Coco and Velvet. So yeah, if you can, while designing a team, if you can have them share colors, then I do suggest that because it helps them look like they go together. That being said, they don't all need to be sharing all of the colors. You know, I've got black on all of them because black is a good neutral. It kind of goes with everything. That's what the gray scale does. Like, there was no reason to put gold on Yatsuhashi or Fox. There was no reason to put Fox's shade of brown specifically on Velvet anywhere. So yeah, you know, you have to... It's kind of like a puzzle. You have to think about art while you're doing it. You can't just... I mean, you can just kind of, like, mindlessly sketch if you want, but... if you want something to look cohesive, you have to plan, you know? That's the big thing, is you have to make sure you're thinking about your art, because you have to make decisions, because that's the thing. Sometimes people will leave comments on videos I make where I'm talking about character design. And they'll leave comments like, you know, you don't have to have a reason to choose the clothes you wear each day. People just wear clothes, you know? And I'm like, these are characters. These characters aren't real. They didn't decide to wear anything. An artist had to render them. And every part of their outfit had to be decided. You know, like... I had to choose to put Adidas on Fox. Fox didn't choose to wear Adidas for the day. I had to choose what kind of shoe should Fox wear. Let's go with a cool street shoe. Let's go with Adidas specifically. You know, a character designer has to make every decision when it comes to a character design. Like, they're not just mindlessly making a design. You could if it's a more, like, a modern thing. Like, you're just like, what's a couple of, you know, let's put a t-shirt on a character, because who cares? You know, that works if it's a modern, if it's more slice of life. But in something like RWBY, where the characters have elaborate designs, which are often heavily based on how they fight, their character, where they come from, you know, the culture they're representing, etc., then, yeah, they're not gonna just... They didn't just decide to wear a t-shirt. They didn't just cut their hair for fun, you know? So yeah, be thinking while you're doing your art. But you kind of have to reach that special nirvana where you're thinking, but you're not overthinking. Because the moment you start overthinking, that's when you start, like, getting lost in the design. I always suggest, like, if you do tend to be like, I don't know what to do, I've been working on this for hours, I'm getting frustrated, take a break. Just take a long break where, like, where you do something engaging. Like, you play a game, or you watch, like, a favorite TV show, you know, go talk to someone. You leave and get your mind completely off of the art for a little bit, and then come back, and you'll be able to look at it with, like, fresh eyes. You know? Because it can be rough being, like, so lost in the picture that it's like, I don't even know what's good anymore. Was all of this a mistake? Well, maybe, but maybe not. So, you know, no reason to just abandon the whole thing in a moment of frustration. It might be salvageable. So just take a break. Bonus fact, I always have the shine layer for light colored things, so primarily yellow, but also like this cream color on Fox and stuff. I always have the shine on these light colored things on its own layer, because often it needs to be at much more saturated than any other shine, because shine on yellow is hard to see, because yellow is already such a bright color. So that's a bonus tip for you. It's okay to have your shading or your shine or whatever it is. You can have it across multiple layers. It's okay to have as many layers as you need. But yeah, here's Team Coffee. I'm super excited with how they came out. I think they look awesome. These are, I think, some of the best designs I've come up with. I think I'm gonna try pulling from real clothes more often, because it made it easier to make the outfits feel real. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm super excited to see if I'm right and if they do show up in Volume 9, and if they do, I cannot wait to get to compare their canon looks to the ones I came up with for them. So yeah, hope you had a great day. Thank you so much to my patrons for voting. All patrons from $5 and up can vote. So yeah, every month, that's every month, you get to vote on a drawn out. And so yeah, there you go. Have a great one. Toodaloo.